All right, welcome back, everybody, to episode number 3 of the Gambler's Audit, and I have here Tom. How are you doing, Tom?
Hey, how's it going? Good. Happy
Where are you
Sunday.
from?
Originally Chicago.
Oh, another Chicago person.
Yeah. I live in the suburbs now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still close by. I'm 20 miles southwest. So,
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Woodridge,
So
Naperville. Or
Naperville. I remember Naperville. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I
So
think we went
that's
to a
where I
wedding
am.
out in Naperville at one point.
Yeah.
Did you? So you used to live in the city?
Yep. On my
What part?
born and raised.
Where at?
Midway Airport area, southwest side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know Midway
I
very
moved.
well.
I moved when I was 21. I got a job and moved to Rockford, and I was in Rockford area for 10 years, 11 years, and then moved back to the city, and then moved out to the burbs. So
Gotcha. Well, I do miss it out there. We talked about it a couple days ago with Rock. Same thing. I miss Chicago. Chicago's a great big city. Like if you're going to live in any big city, I think that's the one to live in for sure.
Yeah, it gets its undue. That it just makes the news now, and it's
of
really
course
not like that everywhere.
It's not. We used to. I mean, it would be midnight. We get out of the bars. My wife and I would walk down the street, and we were never worried about anything. It was always very clean and a lot of a lot of police presence, even though people seem to think that they're nowhere to be found there. Well, I always felt more safe in Chicago than I did in Houston or Dallas or any other place. So I'll probably get some flack in the comments for that. But hey, we lived there. We knew, right?
There's been changes, but what are you gonna do?
What you gonna do? That's right. So, Tom, what kind of gambler are you?
I'm a low roller.
Okay.
Very kind of amateur.
All right.
I kind of came along late in life where my band actually ended up first time I was in Vegas ever was my band had a show out there, and my wife loved Vegas, and so she took me out there. We went out there a couple days early. That was the first time I ever went, and that was probably 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything. I mean, I went to some of the gambling boats growing up and stuff when I turned 21. But nothing major,
Right.
You have like a loss, and then I swore it off. No, I'm not doing this again. But that first Vegas trip, I had fun, but didn't know really what to look for and what I was doing, and and it's been kind of like that ever since.
Okay.
I'm not a big Vegas guy. I go there twice a year for work. Because we have our training out there.
Okay.
But I'll play locally here, especially nowadays. I maybe go to the casino once a month or once every other month kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
And local bar has machines, and I like to sit there and play them. But
sure.
I'm pretty responsible. You get caught up, but come with a budget, and okay, I'm not gonna go past.
Good for you.
So
that's good for you. So what's your game of choice? Obviously slot machines. It sounds like, but what kind of games are you into now?
I'm always into the 3 reels.
Okay.
I mean, you guys kind of got me because I found Brantley's videos, about a year and a half ago, something.
Okay.
And I like how he explains stuff, and
sure.
Hey, well, casino's not too far. Let's go and try this, and. Right. Before you just go run to whatever flashy machine was there, but it's just, let's try some of these older ones. And, you technically, your odds are a little bit better. You can always hit, but, it just, you kind of give yourself a better chance.
Sure. We used to, Brantley and I used to joke that the more boring the machine is to play, the actual better it is for you to play. So, it's kind of a good general rule.
Yeah, absolutely. I just, I like starting out low. I've tried the method. I've maybe got to step 2.
Okay.
But,
the hand pay.
Yeah.
The hand pay method. Okay.
it's hard to get out of step one sometimes, you know.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you know, the place I go to when I go is Hollywood Casino in Joliet.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
got a pretty good selection of older games. They got a 5-line, you know, quarter triple stars.
Oh, that's
They got a
oh
couple
oh.
of
I love
yeah.
that game. Love that
Uh,
game.
I like to start out with that, and I usually do. I usually end up doubling, you know.
Oh, good. Okay.
So that and there's like a you know a regular quarter 2 credit triple stars.
Okay.
I'll play that. And then you know they have multiple denoms on there. Um, but yeah, I just like sitting there with the quarters. I like to you know have my beers and just
There you
spin.
go. There you go. Right.
Like
So
not on a quest for, you know. I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to get a hand pay or whatever, but I'm not like
yeah,
on a quest.
yeah.
You
There's
know,
it's I think this is where Brantley and I differ just a little bit. I think that chasing a hand pay is not usually a good idea because I mean, why are you chasing it to end up paying taxes on 30% of your winnings anyway? You
right
know, I'd rather stay under the radar.
radar.
But
Yeah,
it is good to experience that first hand pay if you've never had it before. It is exciting. I won't lie about that.
yeah.
But
They got the song that goes off whenever somebody hits a jackpot. You know, jackpot. Oh
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I'm next. I'm next. Yeah, I got you.
But like other games, I like you know, I do like Thunder Cash a lot.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and they have the like the
Multi-win.
multi win, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I actually did hit a minor on that.
Oh,
The
good.
plus hit, and it was like 3 something, you know. So that was a good day. And
Oh, yeah.
you know, in Vegas when I went, and I had posted it on a forum. I found the one in New York, and I did
Mm,
like really good on that. I mean, I was just under hand pay, and
yeah.
you know, just
The one
playing
in
the dollar.
the one in the high limit room?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, okay. I know which one you're talking. I played that one too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I did really well on that.
Oh, good.
So,
Good.
but yeah, then sometimes you play it, and you don't do nothing.
It's like every slot machine, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, getting that bonus and then if it was just the bonus rounds and not the must hit buys, I don't know if I would play it as much, but it's just I love that anticipation of just not knowing when it's going to go off. And
yeah,
I mean, it's exciting to get it. You see the little dollar bill spin around. You're like, please
yeah,
be the major. It hardly ever
yeah,
is, but you want it.
yeah.
I've seen it hit pretty low. I mean, we've hit it low. I think 92.15. I've hit it out of 10,000. And I know Brantley's hit it around there too. But we've also seen it go all the way to the end. So, you just never know. You never know with
Mhm.
that one.
You know,
But
you like walk by and see it high, then hey,
it
try it.
sucks you in, doesn't it? It really does. I think I did that a couple of trips ago going to Vegas. We were walking through New York to get I can't remember. We were going to MGM Grand to
Yeah,
play Cherry Jubilee, of course.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, hey, let's stop by and let me see where this the must hit by is in New York. And the minor was at like 440 out of 500.
Out of 500, yeah,
And I was like, let me play a couple hundred in here. And yeah, the first 100 I ended up hitting it. It was like
nice.
448 or something. I just really lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
But if I see it high like that, I'll come by and just play 100 and just hope for the best. But yeah, Thunder Cash is just like any other game like that. It's easy to get sucked in sometimes, and it's hard to
Yeah.
stop and just say stop
And
chasing it.
I'll play I usually play quarter 5-line to start out.
Okay, okay,
Um and yeah, and then I'll kind of jump around a little bit. I haven't gone past you know, dollar 5-line because I'm one of those people that were always scared to put like a 20 in a machine, like
oh
any
sure.
machine, you know, like even like a change machine. So you know, so it's just like, okay, doing like, you know, $10 a spin, it's a little too rich for my blood right now.
Good, good.
So
Well,
yeah,
I'm hoping you say
five's my limit.
right. I didn't want you to say it's too high for my blood right now. Those are the
Right.
dangerous words there. You should
Yeah.
just leave it at that. And
Yeah.
unless something changes in your life that gives you more
Right.
access to money that's expendable and all that, um, I think a lot of people fall in the trap and I know you're not one of them, but I'm just saying a lot of people will fall into the trap where they feel like they got to keep betting higher and higher and higher without paying
Yeah.
attention to their budget and where they started with. And
You
I,
get
I will tell you from personal experience, and Brantley's gone through this, and Dave's gone through this. Um, if you start to up your bet, then when you try to return back to a simpler bet or a cheaper bet, the excitement isn't as strong as it used to be. And that's where the danger lies, right? Like, because you feel
right.
like I only get that buzz or that excitement feeling when I raise my bet. And when I go back to play quarters, I feel bored.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people fall into. And it's very easy to do that. And so we don't want to see that happen. And we want to just kind of stay comfortable and be happy with, the level that we're playing at. And it's taken a lot for me to overcome that. And I can do it confidently now, but a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
Especially when they start playing those really high denominations. I mean, if you imagine betting $50 or $100 a spin, and then somebody comes up to you and say, "Hey, let's go play the quarters," they wouldn't be
Yeah.
interested in it. They wouldn't be
Right.
interested in it. They don't get no entertainment value out of it, and that's sad. And we don't want that to happen to most of us. So
And
I'm
that's
glad that you're sticking with what you're comfortable with.
what like why there's like a lot of Slack channels that I mean I watch quite a bit of them, but I don't like those real crazy ones where they're I mean like $100. I mean I get it like once in a while kind of thing, but when it's like all focused on that like real high limit stuff, yeah, okay, I
Yeah,
guess it's cool to watch, but I always think that some people will see these videos and think, "Oh, I'm going to go do that," and
exactly. Yeah,
not necessarily the case. So
yeah. You
I
sound
said
like
I like
me.
the build up. I like the build up. I like I said
Yeah.
I do what I do.
Yeah, and I think if more people just did little micro challenges, we've talked about it already on the channel about, doing session management, like taking the envelopes and,
Yeah,
only taking one envelope at a time and hiding the rest. And, if you put yourself in sessions like that, then it's easier for you to feel the excitement because you feel like the $100 that you have right now is all you have to deal with. And
yeah,
so the excitement of turning 100 into 200 is very exciting.
hmm
And this is what I have done for many, many years, especially when I go to Vegas, is I will put all my money in the safe as soon as I get there. And what I will do is just take 100 or 200 down at a time,
yeah,
and just see how long I can make that last with the ultimate goal of doubling it. Now I used to fall into the trap of doubling it and then saying, "Oh, let me go to the high limit room, do some damage in there." It's like, then you just lose what you just worked really hard to get.
yeah,
And that's the trap. Like, that's what we don't want people to do. We want them to double their money, enjoy the excitement of that, and then stuff it away somewhere so that they leave
right,
with it.
exactly,
And good encouragement for the next trip, right?
yeah.
So I'm glad to see that you're sticking with, staying level headed and, taking it in small chunks like that and not going crazy.
And see, I'm lucky when I go to Vegas because as I said I'm there for work, so I'm in
Mm,
training from
so
8
you're
a.m. to
busy.
5
Yeah.
5 p.m. So, I have
Right.
the evening and then sometimes we'll get together for like, team dinner or something like that. So I have very little time. And,
Good.
so that's the thing. It's like I say I bring like 1,000 for and I'm there for almost 7 days. I get Sunday through, and I usually come home Friday. And my
Gotcha.
wife will come out with me on one of the trips, but she's smart where she leaves on Wednesday. So
Yeah.
her and I usually just have a day together and then some of the evenings and then then she splits and but I'll bring like say like 1,000
Right.
and just not to have to go to the ATMs because the charges are insane.
It's like
Um,
$10 now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeesh.
they're gonna get you one way or
Oh, yeah, yeah, they'll
um,
definitely get you.
so it's like, yeah, tonight I'll do I'm gonna go over to MGM Grand and see what I could do there. We
Yeah.
stay at the Trop, so
Oh, okay.
it's
Well, not much longer.
yeah. Well, we're
Yeah.
back there again in February and May again. So
Yeah, enjoy while you can. Steal as much stuff from the hotel room as you can, all the
yeah,
Tropicana
I'm not
memorabilia.
a fan of the I'm not a fan of the Trop, but we bring so much equipment there. They're like one of the only convention center hotels that can supply what we need as far as power and all
Oh, I
that.
see. Mm.
So I don't know what's going to happen after Trop is gone. I know they did a session at M in Henderson one season.
Okay.
I did not go to that. A lot of people complained because it was so far off the strip.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'll
What?
just like I'll be able. It's easy enough to go, you know, to New York, MGM Grand, even Park MGM.
Sure.
I've been to Aria from there.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, it's just like $100 today or $200 today, and I only had, you know, I'll go to bed early, so
Oh, that's
2-3
good.
hours at tops.
Well,
So,
I'm definitely proud of you, Tom, because you're doing the right thing there and not walking around with that 1,000,
oh
you know, with you the entire time, because it can be very tempting for people
yeah,
when the money is there to just keep
yeah,
feeding it. And I tell you, when you put barriers up by leaving it in your room in Tropicana and you're over at Aria,
yeah,
you know, it's a long way to go all the way back
yeah, yeah,
to get
yeah,
more money. And that's enough time to talk yourself out of, you know, chasing, and that tomorrow is another day. So that's
yeah,
good.
yep.
So what's a good what's probably your best trip ever to a casino? Can you think of one?
Um, Probably um last February
Okay.
in Vegas. Well, both of them actually, February and May. I went over to Park MGM, and
Okay.
I found like I think they only have the one pinball. Normal. I think it
Oh,
was the
the doll.
dollar.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. You're
and
right.
it's
Yep.
like kind of right outside, kind of high limit room. It's
Yep.
in
I
that
know
little
exactly what
circle.
you're talking about. Yep. Near
So
that
just
bar in the
doing a
middle.
dollar, $3 spins, and for whatever reason, I just kept hitting pinballs. Like I had like 8 of them, 9 of them, something like that.
Oh, wow.
And then I hit the 007.
Oh,
And
nice.
so it was like, yeah, I think I was up to like 900 bucks on
Wow.
just that machine. And I was like, yep, cash out. I'm going back.
But there you go.
The problem was on my way back from Park MGM, I stopped at MGM Grand. I stopped at New York, New York. So I lost a little bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, as much as everybody raves about Cherry's Jubilee, it has not been very nice to
Not
me.
good for you. Yeah.
I've hit a couple of $100
Sure.
hits, you
Sure.
know, but yeah, I've not been lucky enough to hit that the cherries yet. But I
Yeah.
tried, but you know, okay, $100.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
I think $100 is pretty fair as you're
Yeah,
walking by, you know, try $100. It's really funny. Like every time that I've hit it, it's been right away.
yeah,
But the times that I never hit it is when I put 3 or 400 in it and just don't even hit it. It's like, so I've convinced myself that I'm just going to walk by and do $100. And if I don't hit it, I'm good with that. I just walk off for, you know, maybe a couple of hundred, but
yeah,
um, yeah, those are funny machines, but I mean, they hit pretty frequently. I mean, when you think about what I try to compare it to, and I talked to Dave about this too, is that think about how hard it is to get 1,000 credits on top dollar. It's
right,
really difficult to get the 1,000 credits. Probably only happens once every couple of months to somebody. Where Cherry's Jubilee, 20 or 30 times a day, somebody is hitting the 1,000 credits. And so if you
yeah.
got to put all that
Lady
in
next to me,
perspective, you know.
the lady next to me hit it, you know, and
Oh
she
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
oh wow, you know, it's like, oh cool.
It's my turn. What's going on?
But no, she seemed definitely like shocked, you know, and
Yeah, yeah,
I said, no, these supposedly hit all the time, you know. But I
yeah. They
think
do.
people kind of ignore them because well, they're off to the back there, and you
Yeah, they're
know,
just people
it's
don't
not
know
like
about them.
not enough action, kind of.
Yeah, there's not. They're really boring. I mean,
Yeah,
they're incredibly boring to play. I mean, they do tease you a lot, which I like. It does get those juices flowing, seeing those first two, and then
yeah,
just missed it. You know, it does tease you a lot, which I think makes it a little bit more entertaining. But
and
I
then
mean,
the symbols that you think should win is not a win.
yeah, it's a very, very confusing pay table, that's for sure. Yeah, well, cherries are not wild, but they're sometimes wild.
Yeah,
It's very, very, very weird. But I
and
mean,
then
that's what you were just describing, you know, coming back and losing a couple hundred. Um, you know, maybe I mean the gambler's box is a good idea for situations like that. When you got off of your pinball machine,
Yeah.
You have a long walk back to Tropicana or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
By putting it somewhere where you can't touch it on the way back is good.
Yeah.
But
I
you don't have
haven't.
to put it all. I mean, listen, like the thing that we're always trying to talk about when coming up with ideas on how to ultimately win in a casino is to just push your luck off of your winnings. And so there's nothing wrong with taking a good session that you had on pinball and then trying to push your luck on other machines.
Right.
You just don't want to go all the way back to where you were before you had that success on pinball. And a
Yeah.
lot of people do that. And then you're like, man, I worked so hard and had such a huge run on pinball. And then you do the walk of shame all the way back to your hotel because you realize what you did. And it's like, I had $800 in my wallet and now I have
Yeah.
100
Yeah.
because I did something reckless and I should have put that money away. I mean, we've all thought that, right? I think
Mhm.
I can't think of any gambler that hasn't.
Right.
Um, but that's where the box comes in handy because if you have a strong enough willpower, as soon as you cash out and you go to the ATM to cash your ticket in, that you start stuffing those things inside of there,
Yeah.
then you're going to have that $800 or 600 or whatever you decide to put in there when you come back home, and that's powerful. That's really
Yeah.
powerful. So
Yeah. I still need to buy a box. I
sure,
said I haven't been going to casino lately, so I've been kind of
yeah,
holding off. It's been a while since I actually went, probably 3-4 months. Um,
okay, okay.
and so it's just like, yeah, I mean, they're very affordable, and I just haven't got around to it yet.
No, that's good. I mean, you don't need
I'll
it
get it before my
necessarily on your
next trip.
local. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't necessarily really need it for your local casinos because it's easy just to get in your car and drive home, right?
Yeah.
But when you're in Vegas, it's a much different story. You're
Yeah.
there for another 5 days,
Uh-huh.
and you know everywhere you walk, there's a slot machine. I mean, I'm surprised they're not in the bathrooms for crying out loud. Like it just everywhere you walk, there's a slot machine in Vegas,
Mark, you
and
probably
so
just gave them an idea if any
I
they're
know.
gonna be.
I wouldn't be surprised, right? I would not be surprised. They're already dirty enough, so you might as well put them in there. Um, I think that the box is really helpful for those multi-day trips and trips to Vegas and things like that. And we had a meetup, I guess, at WinStar a couple of months ago, and I think nearly 50% of the people that came up and saw Dave and I had the box and showed it to us. And I was like,
Oh,
that is
good.
awesome. I am glad you guys are carrying that around because
Cool.
a lot of people, and myself included, think that they have like the best willpower to turn away and to stop and all that. But man, when you're caught up in the moment and then you add friends to it and hopefully not alcohol, but if you do add alcohol to it, man, things just get crazy in there
Yeah. Yeah.
and all your logic and reason just goes out the window. And so
Right.
by
Then
having
you're
something like that you can, if you have a split second of thought, you could put the money in there and then, keep going and not worry about digging the money back out of there. You have something to come back home with. So it's
yeah.
it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
So what's
Um
you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but what is a terrible visit to the casino? Can you think of a
um okay, so as a kid, when I turned 21, my job at the time, they all said, "Oh, well, let's go to the casino since you're turning 21." Right? Okay, cool. And it was, I went there. It was at the time it was the Empress in Joliet. Now it's Hollywood. But
okay.
those are when, well, I'll get to this, but those are when the riverboats had to take off and there were sessions. So there was like,
Oh, I see.
it was like,
Okay.
a 3 hour tour, a three. Well, okay, I did pretty good on that. Okay, I put $20 in and I won 100. And when you're 21 back then, I was like, cool.
Right. Yeah.
So when I was in tech school, we were like, it was like the last day, and me and a friend decided to go to Grand Victoria in Elgin. And I know Rocky was talking about that one.
Right. Right.
So at the time, that was my worst experience because, again, 21 years old, you work at a retail job, you don't make money. Um, I blew through my money in 10
Sure.
minutes. And now I'm stuck on the boat for 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Oh
No money
no.
to buy beer, nothing.
Oh
and
man.
go to ATM or do cash advance from your credit
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is kind of what turned me off of it for a long time.
Right. Right.
My parents like to gamble. So they live in Wisconsin now, and they're by like Ho Chunk Casino by the Dells. So I'd go there sporadically with them.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, that one taught me a lesson in Elgin, and I don't ever want to be like in that position again.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah,
Well,
many years later, you learn how to,
yeah,
let
I mean, you're young at 21, and
right.
it's that's
But I've
you
like
really.
never had like a degenerate type of, oh man, I lost the mortgage, or
Oh
no,
yeah, no. But I mean,
I
if you didn't wake up and realize what happened, you could have ended up in that
oh
position,
yeah,
and a lot of people are because they just they'll talk to themselves and say, "Oh, that was horrible. I can't believe I did a cash advance in the casino. What am I crazy?"
yeah,
Um, but then a couple days go by and you do it again,
yeah,
because it worked, or it was easy to get, and we know casinos. I mean, you could probably take your Apple Watch off and hand it to them. They'll give you a couple $100 to go keep
yeah,
gambling, any way to get you money to keep gambling, they'll
yeah,
do it. And so, it's on you, and they won't say anything. They won't say, "This is the third cash advance you've done in an hour. Are you sure?" No. Well, they're just going to keep pumping it out. And so it's up to you to realize that, that's not good. And I hope all of you out there know that that's not good. But I'm glad that you admitted it, Tom. A lot of people will never admit that they ever did anything like that. And it's important to admit it
yeah,
because you knew that was bad and you don't want to go down that path. And that was great. And I think it's
yeah,
really funny. One of the things that you mentioned, your first trip, you won $100 or whatever, you brought in 100. It it always puzzles me to think, and I think we'll find this out, and it may be a question that I will ask every single person that I interview, is describe your first time that you gambled. What happened? And I want to say, and this is not scientific by any means, but I want to say that those people that went for the first time and won are probably still gamblers today. But people that went and lost hard are probably not gamblers today. And
yeah,
it's interesting to go back and see. I mean, it will be interesting to see, like, what is the answer to that question. Like, I think we used to always joke, like, the worst thing that can happen to somebody is on their first gambling trip, they hit the biggest hand pay that anybody's ever seen. Like, they win one of the progressives or something. And I mean, that tarnishes them for life because then they think it's that easy. And you need people to tell them, listen, what just happened to you is a once in a lifetime thing. It can't be replicated easily. So, but there's usually not somebody on the shoulder telling them that. And so
right,
it's interesting to see, how people evolve over time as becoming gamblers. Was it all back to that first experience that they had? And was that what seeded their future outcomes? And I think that's really interesting.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what is your favorite game to play now? Like, if it doesn't matter, like, money wise, budget, build up, or anything, what's your favorite, most exciting slot machine?
Um, I hate to say it, it's a
That's all
guilty
right. That's all right. That's
pleasure,
all right.
but no, I'm pretty, and I use this term jokingly, but I'm pretty addicted to Buffalo Gold.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I am. I have pretty good experiences on that game. I mean, honestly, like the last time I was at the casino, we were getting ready to leave. My wife had to go to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom, so I'd sit down and I'd put 20 in Buffalo Gold, and let's say I won't go beyond Buffalo Gold.
Right.
Uh, the rest of all these Buffalo games, I'll play the original and I'll play Buffalo Gold. But I put $20 in, and I'm playing 60 cents, and just waiting for her to get done in the bathroom.
Yep.
And I'm playing, and I don't know what happened, but and I wasn't really kind of keeping track, but I kept hitting the bonus, the coin bonus, and I don't know. She called me. She was waiting by my truck in the parking garage. And I'm like, I'm on a roll here.
Yeah.
When I finish, I'll
Don't
finish.
stop this train. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I ended up walking off that machine at like $930 on 60-cent
Oh, wow.
bets. And unfortunately, I can't recall, like, I don't know if I had all 15 heads. I wasn't
Right.
like paying attention. I just kept watching the money go up, and I kept
Right.
seeing
Right.
there were triggers and all that. So now I'm like really more conscious of it. So I am, when I play, I am keeping track. And
Right.
not too long ago, I got the 5 coin
Oh, wow.
bonus, and then couple weeks ago, I had 14 heads.
Wow.
So I'm starting to keep track. And now those times, now those were the Illinois, like the bar machines.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do, like I said, my local place is not even a mile away, and they got good food there and lots of friends. So it's
Yeah.
just nice to go hang out and just, like I said, I have 60
Hey,
cents. Maybe when I
entertainment,
get up
right?
a little
All
bit,
60
I'll go up
cents
to
entertainment. Yep.
a $1.20. But I like to just sit there and spin and see if I could get the bonuses and
Yep.
see what happens. But I got get nice line hits off there. I got like a $94 line hit the other day. It's just like, okay,
Wow.
well, the line hits are doing better than the bonuses. So that's kind of my guilty pleasure game. And they just put a new one in another machine. They replaced an older one, and which unfortunately was an older IGT with like the multi games. They had
Oh,
like
right.
they had the old Timberwolf on there and stuff.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and so now they put another aristocrat in, and they got Buffalo Gold, but they got Buffalo Chief. And I
Oh,
tried
okay.
that. I tried that, and it, like, just doing the 60 cents again. And I tried it, $20 in, and then I went back another day. I tried another $20, and it's just like, no,
Nothing.
I don't like this one. I can't get a bonus. The
Yeah.
Buffaloes are like worthless.
Yeah.
When you get
You
like
need like 15 of them to
you
make
get
any.
like
Yeah.
three of them. At least it's $1. It's more than your bet back.
Yeah.
And I kind of
Yeah.
look for, okay, am I going to get my bet back? And
Right. Right.
a good rule of thumb that you guys always had said, and like Sheldon and Chris, same thing. Or
Yeah.
always try and get your bet back.
Yeah. 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 That's everybody always asked back to Thundercash, why do I play 5 line and Brantley plays 10 line? And it's not really any kind of strategy advancement or anything like that. It's just with the 10 line, it's possible on your spin to get half your bet back. And I just hate that. Like, I want to be able to at least get my bet back if anything lines up. It's just
Yeah,
it's just a weird thing. I don't know what it is, but I
and I
feel
like
like if you get a portion of it back, it just slowly drains you down and you don't even realize it. You think that you're getting a win on every single spin. You're like, wow, this is a cool game. But if you're not really watching closely, which I'm sure they're banking on, you know, it's a slow drain. It's eventually going to end up at zero.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that too, because when
Sure.
you're playing $10 and you get what you would get if you got that hit on a 5 line versus the 10 line, the 5 line is going to be more. I think, doesn't it? Like the 10 line cut that in half on some of those hits.
It doesn't cut
Like
the
where you would
pay.
get $5.
Right. It doesn't cut the pay in half, but it makes it feel that way because you have 10 lines of coverage, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
So it's because it's like the difference between playing a single line and a 5 line game. 5 line will hit
Okay.
more frequently, but you're only betting 1 credit per line instead of 2 or 3. And
I got
so
you.
it makes it feel like it's less. But no,
Okay.
the symbols are still paying exactly the same. It's less than your
Yeah,
bet back because of the extra lines that you're paying for. Yeah. It's a good question.
gotcha.
So let me ask you this. We're kind of just bouncing around, but I wanted to get back to like budgeting and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, you said you go every couple of months or something to the locals, and then you said
Yeah.
twice a year to Vegas. How do you go about deciding how much you're going to bring, to each of those?
So locally, um, I'll be like, $200, $300.
Okay.
Go to my bank here, my ATM, and so I'm not spending extra money on service charges at the casino.
Sure.
And I'll keep 100 in my pocket, and that's all I'm going to play with. And I always start to, do the build up. And it's like, okay, so I'm going to have $300, and let's see if we can build this first 100. And I'll go to the 5-line triple stars or the
Good.
the 2 credit regular triple, double it, and then put that original 100 back, and then play off what I got. But then I still have, like, I never like will. I can't say never, but
most of the time.
but yeah, it's just like I try, like, once what I originally brought is gone, then it's time to go. So
good.
But I could get, I said, using those methods, you get a few hours of play.
Oh,
yeah. And you may hit, you may not. I said, some days are better than others. Same with locally, with that bar, it's just like, okay, I'm bringing $60. Then once the 60's there, gone, then okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
And you could kind of, I've done the double ups where I cash out the ticket and then I'll go to the redeemer and take that money and put it back in my pocket. Okay, play the rest, but you're still going original budget. And Vegas is a little different. And I said, I'm kind of lucky just because my whole trip is basically paid for. The airfare, the hotel,
the training.
Meals,
I got you. Yeah.
So I have the money to spend on, the gambling for that.
Sure.
But it's the same thing. You're there 6 days. It's just like, it depends on.
Which is a very long time to be in Vegas, by the way.
It's too long. I don't like it. And when we go February and then we're there in May, it feels like I never left. And
right.
I mean, food's expensive. It's not. I asked my parents, like, all these movies I've seen, what the hell? I mean, what happened to the $1 steaks and
the $4 buffet?
My dad who's a union guy and stuff. He's like, what happened? They drove the mob out.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Prices went up instead of the mob. Yeah, of course.
So yeah,
and then all the slot machines became fair, right?
Yeah, but I'm not a table game person.
Okay.
I used to like. I said Vegas changed so much, even in the short time I've been going.
Oh yeah.
I said my wife taught me. Okay, you want free beer? Go sit at the bar and play Joker poker.
Right.
And we would do that. But now a lot of the places have red light, green light on the back of the poker machines. So put 20 in. Yep, that light will go green, and you can have a beer. Yeah. Then it's going to stay red until you put more money in, or you're playing for a while. Then it'll flip again.
Yeah,
okay,
it's no joke. Beer. You got to go off the strip, downtown, those places to.
Well, New York's still doing it, and MGM Grand is still doing it. At least the last time I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I said, I used to I liked the old Tropicana bar.
Yeah.
Before they remodeled it. I liked the old one because they had the old school employees there. And I mean, they tell you, like, I had a friend, she's trying to buy a drink, and he goes, put some money in that machine and I'll give you a drink. And she didn't know really how to handle that, I said, just, and
here, let me show you.
Because I would definitely tip because, it's, you're okay. Beer prices, well, at the time they're probably $5-6. Yeah. Now they're like $8. But it was like, okay, you're giving me a free beer, so yeah, you're gonna get $2 or $3 because you're still sick,
Yeah, they still have to serve you and everything. Yeah.
But now they got that
half
new bar
beer, basically.
So yeah, I like playing the poker machines. I did get a Royal Flush on one of them one time.
Oh,
so that was
wow,
cool.
Nice.
So it was like 1,000. It was like under a hand pay, but that was probably the biggest, winning I had.
Oh, you're playing dollars then, so.
Yeah, it was like $1.25, 25 cents. I think it was $1.25.
Oh, I got you 5. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. So the 4,000 credits for the Royal.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
But yeah, I kind of stopped playing those since they're not really doing freebies anymore. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, that stuff is it's really interesting right now. A lot of changes just in the last couple of years. I mean, the pandemic kind of screwed everything up,
yeah,
but now they're using it as a way to reset everything. And now they're charging for parking, which I think is ridiculous. It's like $30 a day or something. It's nuts. And then, like you said, ATM fees. You can't even get a bottle of water for less than $6 or $7 in any of the stores in the casinos, and it's just yeah, it's built around comps now. It's like if you don't have comps, you're gonna get just they're gonna get you.
yeah. I don't, and
So
I don't go to Vegas enough to like really worry about
sure,
that.
yeah.
So it's just, I mean, I have cards for, well, so before Trop went to Bally's, they were the same as like Hollywood Casino here. So it's like, okay, I can
Oh,
play at
that
Hollywood
was
and I can play at Trop. But now since Bally's bought them, they change it and it's like their own Tropicana card.
yeah,
And I'll play there. They don't have. I don't know if you've been there in a while, but
not in a
it's
long time.
it's kind of it's a hole in here. They I mean
Is it all white like the outside of the hotels? Is just white everywhere?
yeah, yeah. And it's just, you got like I've seen like tweakers like coming in there and
Yeah,
you know going to each machine and seeing that people left like 4 cents in, and
yeah.
they're hey, but it was funny. They have a few old school games in a little circle, not many of them, but they have like Haywire and they had like the triple double strike. Um, but yeah, most of it is like all the flashy games. But in their high limit room, they do have pinball and top dollar, but the denom's too high. I think it starts at
Yeah,
10. And
yeah.
that's just like, no, but they did put a brand new pink diamond in there that was dollar denom. And I was like surprised to see that in there but then I was thinking, oh, it's a brand new machine. They probably don't want it in the main area where it's
Yeah.
going to get messed with or whatever. But,
Well,
but yeah,
they just came out with a 9-line pink diamond, so it might be that one. I
no,
don't know if you looked at it. Was it
this
single
was
pay
just,
line?
yeah, it was just single pay.
Okay.
And because that was like the one thing, or it was like I was getting ready to go to bed and I found it and I was like, I'll try it. And, I turned 20 into 100 and I'm like, okay, I'm going.
Now I'm really going to go to bed. Yeah. I'm out of
Yeah,
here.
the end of the night, like the last run, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, the more I get familiar with things, I know what kind of machines to look for.
Good.
I didn't have that knowledge, or you're just going to go to anyone. And then every so often, you play the crazy games, and
You have to. I mean,
I've hit a
you get
major
bored,
on, of all places, the Vegas airport. I hit a major on the I call it the firecracker game. I ain't gonna try and pronounce it.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But the major dropped when I hit a bonus 20 in, and I walked out of the smoke room with like $900.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, and I'm going right to my gate, and I'm sitting there, even though I got like 2 hours left.
Isn't that awesome? That's the way to do it.
And I told you a while back they put a top dollar and a pinball, the new pinball, the 9-line.
Yeah.
And but they have the top dollar is I want to say it was a dollar denom 2 credit.
Oh, okay.
Single line. And I hit a couple bonuses off of that, where, I did get a times two, and it ended up being like, 400 something bucks. I was like, cool. And then I was like, okay, I got extra money. I'm going to try the 9-line pinball. That didn't go so well. I didn't burn through it all, but it was like, okay, I have the extra money to at least try it. And
yeah,
it zapped me.
that game is tricky. I mean, we were talking about that a couple days ago with Rock too, and it's a tricky game. Like
they need to have a 25-cent denom more commonly, because then I'd be more apt to play with it.
$10 is pretty rough, and it's. I mean, the bonus rounds are usually pretty lucrative. I mean, the average is around 200 credits, so I mean, it's pretty good. But man, that game can suck you in, and I'm victim to this too. That game has sucked me in more times than I want to admit to, and it's I've done good on top dollar and done the same thing where I switch over to the 9-line pinball and just eats me alive.
Yeah.
But other times I've sat down and gotten the bonus on the first spin, and got out of there right after, did my backup spin, and then left. But that doesn't happen all too often, and
And for whatever reason, I tend to gravitate towards like with pinball. Like I like the older cabinet, the old school ones.
Yeah, me too.
I play the new one, the single line, because at my place they have 2 new ones and 2 old ones. And then the old ones, like a lot of the lights are like burnt out, and but it just seems like I do better on those than I do when I try the new ones. And I know it's like the same game, but
it is, yeah. But it's
I don't know.
I know what you're talking about. If there was an old one, I would always pick the old one over the new one.
I just wish they had
not the new one, but the new old one.
Yeah, but I wish they had the 2 credits there, because all of them are 3 credit. And
they're all 3 credit.
Some of them, I'd like to try a 2 credit one, and just get that play, because I do enjoy playing the game.
Yeah. And they said, when talking to IGT about the 2 and the 3 coin, the main reason they came out with the 2 coin was for the high limit rooms. They were finding that a lot of people were not playing the pinball because of the 3 credits. And so they decided to experiment and come out with the 2 coin version. But the fascinating thing, you've probably heard me say this before, but the bonus rounds are exactly the same average, whether you get that extra shot or not. It doesn't matter. So a lot of people think, because you're betting that 3rd coin, you're getting that extra shot, 5 shots instead of 4, that, it's going to be a better bonus round, but it all averages to be the same. Yeah. It all averages to be the same. So I always say, if you can find the 2 coin, play that one, because the bonus rounds, and we know the line hits are so infrequent on Top Dollar and Pinball, you're playing for the bonus. So you might as well play the 2 credits. But again, it's hard to find, and it has to be in that old cabinet.
Yeah.
There's rumors that they're going to be coming out with a new pinball next year, and that's going to be a little bit more true to the classic, and they're thinking about bringing the 2 coin back too. But that's all I know about it, so don't ask me anything else.
That's cool.
I actually know a little more, but I can't say it. I'll probably get in trouble.
Cool. But did you find that out at G2E, or just through your
no, G2E.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we've talked to him several times. Anthony, the product director out there, and he's let us know about a couple things that they're working on, but there's not a whole lot of details yet. He just says that there is a new pinball coming, and it's going to be more true to the classic, he said. So
cool.
We can speculate all day long what that means. But
hopefully it's not that other. There's that one that, excuse my French, but like the bastard son of pinballs, or
the flipping out.
No, that's the rip. Well, not the rip. Yeah, it's rip off. No, there's that one version of pinball. I don't know if it was Pinball Gold or.
Oh yeah, Pinball Gold. Yeah,
that was a stinker, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a stinker. I did not do so well. That one's the volatility scale, that's even higher than the new ones. I mean, it was the highest version of pinball ever.
Like when I play pinball, usually, like I said, if I throw, in most cases, not always, but if I throw $100 in there at the $3 bet, I usually get at least one bonus. Usually. Now, sometimes no. And then I'll throw another 100 in there, and then but I have gotten a back-to-back before.
Oh, nice.
Which is cool. I mean, there are times I've sat on that machine where I would just keep getting bonuses, and then let's try $2 for a little while, and
then the bonuses stop, right?
Yeah, but and I've also had like a double triple bar on it.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know, you get enough of the line hits to kind of keep you going and get that bonus. Why not? But yeah, I like that bonus. I still get excited when I cool.
When it lands. Oh yeah. Yep. Especially when you're up in your bed or something, it's really exciting to get because it's going to be good. I mean, it's not necessarily. I mean, I've had some pretty bad. I think my lowest was 35 credits before, which was a couple of fives and the rest tens. I mean, it was bad.
I think the hand pay guys. Let's go. Sheldon Chris. I think Sheldon said his lowest was like 35.
Yeah,
it's low.
So. It's rough when you get talent. But usually it's in the 70, 60, 70, 80 range.
Yeah.
It's pretty consistently averaging around there. And it's still a fun game, but man, it can also drain you fast. Like sometimes the bonuses. I've had good trips to Vegas where, I've hit pinball often. And then I think the last trip I was there with Brantley, I played pinball many times and not once did I ever get the bonus. The entire visit I was there. And, it happens sometimes, but it's still a very exciting game, but it's one of those just like every other slot machine where you just kind of have to commit yourself to, I'll do 100, maybe 2, but that's it. Like I'm going to get out of there after that because then I'm just chasing my losses.
After the hack, they're changing all the machines now.
It's not true, guys.
I know. No, but I seen that where, let's say, a couple YouTubers are saying that, and I'm like, okay, so the gaming commission is at every single machine at every single casino. No.
Yeah.
Common sense.
No, and it's
headlines, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Like they think that if the casino needs to make money, that monkeying with the odds is the way to go. But no, they're doing it their best with all the other areas, like charging for parking, ATM fees, restaurants, room service, like everything. They can instantly make a change there without any gaming commission and involvement whatsoever, and they can make a ton of money off of that. So they don't need to monkey with the odds at all. I mean, people think it's funny. There was somebody on the forums actually who I can't remember who it was, but she said, "Well, I'm going to go out to Vegas right now," and it was during the hack.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, why is that? And they're like, well, it seems like it's a good time to go because maybe the machines are in a paying cycle or something. I'm like, well, one of two things are going to happen. One, you're going to go and you're going to win and you're going to think it's because of the hack. Or one, you're going to go and you're going to lose and you're going to think it's because of the hack. It's either one of those. That's what it is. But it's not either. It's not either of those things. It's just, and it's funny that people, and I know you know this, Tom, but it's I've gone to Aria or MGM Grand or whatever, and there are some trips that just seem to, I just keep winning. Like I'm having really good luck. And then most trips, it's not so much the case. It's a little bit of a roller coaster, but I ultimately end up leaving with my budget being gone or maybe close to breaking even. But very rarely do I come back with extra winnings. I mean, it's happened a couple times. And funny enough, in the airport, I've won 2 on the way out. So but it's not, it has nothing to do with the environment changing at all. It has nothing to do with the slot machines changing or management tightening them up or loosening them up or anything like that. It's just the luck of it. I mean, it has to be, mostly random so that you can go in there and not know what's going to happen. That's what makes it all legitimate and fair for everybody that's playing, whether you're a high roller or a low roller, it doesn't matter. You use your player's card, you don't. It has to be fair for everybody. And so, it makes it easier to gamble when you know that there's oversight,
Even playing at my local bar, they're kind of known, their payouts are pretty good. And just like we talked about on the forum, well, slightly. But yeah, they do under the hand pay on like ones that have like the jackpot or whatever. It's $11.99.
Right.
I've seen people hit them. But I've also seen, like, next to me, I've seen a guy, and he was like max betting and stuff, but he hit a bonus on the cow game, which I love watching other people play that game, but I've tried playing it. It just takes my money.
Yeah, you and me are the same, man. I can't stand that game.
Anytime somebody's playing it, but he walked off that machine with $4,000.
Wow.
And then he played, there's a Rocky game, and he got a full screen of wilds on a Rocky game, $3,000, like within an hour. So yeah, he was max betting and stuff. However, I mean, you get some people that complain, oh, the machines are tight today, or they're stingy today, and it's my line is always, you know what, slot machines are going to slot machine.
Yeah, that's
all
true.
there is to it. And
Yeah.
even if they're not true slots, I mean, it's the same gameplay. There's no bingo card. There's nothing that says lottery on it.
Right.
The only difference is that the free game is not a free game.
It's a prime spin. Yeah.
Well, in the case of Buffalo Gold, they call it booster. But so when you get the free games, you have enough, they give you enough credits for that 3 coin or 4 coin that you will use those credits they give you for that session.
Right. It's really interesting. Yeah, they're weird. But so do you have any questions for me? Like I know you've followed Cowboy Slots for a long time, and thank you for finding us, of course, and doing the interview.
Oh, absolutely.
But is there anything you've ever wondered about slot machines, gambling, or anything like that you want me to try to answer?
Not really. I mean,
okay.
You guys have always done the, it's having the common sense. And I said, I liked a lot of like cowboy videos, and then your videos, and then Dave's videos where, it's nice short sessions, and it is what it is. And because one thing I'm noticing about some other channels, their content's getting longer and longer, and I can't sit there for 40 minutes like watch. 12 minutes is good, 15 minutes is good. But people are getting, and I get it that, if they're monetized and longer people, I understand that, but it's still it's just like, okay. And I don't like, bonus chasing, and, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with
common sense where, it all boils down to budget, whether you're going to have a good time or a bad time, and just stick to your thing. There's nothing wrong with chasing dragons eventually, once in a while kind of thing, if you're up.
Oh, sure.
But I said, I think that a lot of people see some of these high limit people and, winning majors, maxed out majors off a Dragon Link or whatever. They're just gonna like it. It's, not, they may be getting them, but how long did it take them to get that, and how much money did it so I just like the nice short sessions, and hey, pick this machine kind of thing. And
there was one, and I'm not going to name names, but one of those that plays very high very often had an incredible run on Red Hottie, $100 Red Hottie. Ended up getting 1,000 credits. And I was really excited. It was a fun video to watch because it was fun to see the 1,000 light up.
Cool.
But then after he got paid, he came back and said, see, with these games, you got to do that because you're going to get a lot of low bonuses because it's saving up for that big bonus. And I'm like, dude, you can't say that. You can't say that. People are, number one, it's totally incorrect. But number two, you're influencing people by saying that, because then people will think, if I keep getting low bonus amounts, that means that a big one is coming. And think about the danger in that. And so, I'm with you. Like, I like watching all those channels. I do, because I like watching gameplay. I mean, I'm a slot fanatic. I love watching that stuff.
Sure.
But man, as soon as they say something like that, I have to light up the comments, but respectfully. But it's all about, look, you're an influencer. You shouldn't, say stuff like that, because people are going to take it the wrong way, and they're going to end up in the doghouse with, chasing bonus rounds or playing outside of their comfort level because you said that and you showed it on camera, but they don't see the other side of it. And they don't understand that that's not how slot machines work. They don't work off of, banking up a certain amount to pay off to somebody in the future because it's been on the take for a while. And I think out of all the myths and rumors that are out there, that's probably the number one top of the list, is people thinking that a machine is due, or that it's hot, or that it's cold, or that it's in some kind of cycle. But it's also not only the number one myth, but it's also, in my opinion, the most dangerous, because people will take that and then start making decisions on future bets because of that information. And I don't know if you remember, but there was this I think we talked about it a little bit on Cowboy Slots, but there was this app that came out, and I don't know what happened to it. It was called the Slot Finder or something. I can't remember, but they partnered with a bunch of casinos. I think I can't remember what state it was, Oregon or Washington or Idaho or something. I think it was Idaho. So they partnered with a bunch of casinos. And the good part of the app is that it would show you where all the machines were and all the denominations. But the bad part is they were telling you where the hot and cold machines were and how many were hidden hand pays. And it's like, I'm like, yikes. Like, you put that information in there and people are going to look at that and then they're going to say, wow, that double diamond, $100 double diamond has hit 23 hand pays in the last hour. I should probably go play that when I usually play quarters. And I mean, that just kills me. Like, I wanted to email them like, guys, you can't do this stuff. Like, people are very gullible when it comes to gambling. And when you put something like that out, and it's even worse when an influencer backs it, because an influencer will see it and start repeating some of that stuff. And we know about the volume thing, how crazy that went. You know, and that's a joke. That's in good fun. I don't have a big problem with that one. But whenever you say something like, well, that's how these machines work, they bank up, you know, by giving you a lot of low hits and a lot of low bonuses because it's saving up for a big one. I mean, yikes, like yikes. And that's what I'm trying to get people not to understand. It's not, that is not correct.
My Buffalo machine at the bar, it's the audio stopped working.
Okay.
And you know, a lady was playing next to me and she's like, well, you're not gonna win. There's no audio. I started laughing. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with it.
It has nothing to do with it. Well, I heard.
Yeah.
8.2%, 8.5% better chance.
There were other things she said about like hot and cold, and like, yeah, it just seems like that. Right? I said slot machines are gonna slot machine.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good saying. I mean, it's I think one of the strongest things that I remember was back when we did the interview with Anthony at IGT, and he said that, you know, initially his answer, which we edited out and asked him to repeat it because we didn't want people to go crazy with it. And because we asked him, are machines hot and cold? And he said, yes. And I was like, wait a minute, we have to like understand, because people will see that and then they'll think it's programmatically that way. Like it's programmed to be hot and cold. And he's like, oh no, it's not programmed, but it is hot and cold, because in any kind of random situation, there are going to be periods of hot and coldness. And just like with the flipping of the coin, I mean, there are going to be times where you're going to get a lot of heads in a row and it doesn't seem right. Like it should, next one's got to be tails, right? It's like red and black on a roulette table. Same thing. Right. You think because it's, you know, a series of events that occurred, that it's in some kind of cycle programmatically. So
I think too, with, you know, the other myths that you guys have gone into several times about, you know, the server rooms and all that. And I think because we're both in like a IT type of background, technical background, you know, it's networking, and yes, things could get pushed remotely, but as you said, there are other steps that have to occur. And it's the same thing how we deal with upgrading routers and switches and, you know, just the infrastructure. You know, it gets to a certain point and then somebody else has to get there. But networking is networking. And, you know, people have networks in their house. It's kind of the same.
Yeah. I mean, of course they're networked. Like we've never said that slot machines aren't networked. They have to be.
Right.
I mean, otherwise, how do they know that you hit a hand there?
We know that, but other people, because they're networked, they could do whatever they want.
Yeah, of course, of course.
That's not how it works.
And you actually bring up that was a very good explanation of, imagine you could download Windows updates all day long, but if you don't have an administrator password, you're never going to be able to apply them.
Right.
You know, it's kind of the same situation where, you know, the payloads can come from the network or the server, of like software updates and game changes. Like they want to change the dominations of the game or whatever. All that stuff can be pushed to the machine. But again, like so many rules, like there can't be any credits on the machine. It's got to be idle for 4 minutes. And then even then, it still requires a physical presence to open up the machine. And I think I mean, obviously, I've had a lot of machines come through here, all different types, new ones, old ones. But one thing that is consistent across all of them is that there is a dedicated cam lock over the whatever the special access point is, whether it's
Sure.
a chip, whether it's a USB port, whether it's a CF card port, whatever the case is, every single one of them has a cam lock on it. And this cam lock is completely different from all the ones on the machine for opening the doors, opening the cash box, all that stuff. That cam lock is in the possession of the gaming commission. So
Yep.
the casinos don't even have the lock or the key to open those. So they never would be able to do it if they wanted to. And they wouldn't
Right.
do it anyway because the risk of them breaking that seal and then having gaming come out and randomly pulling it, I mean, it would be substantial.
Yep.
And a lot of people say, yeah, but they just pay the fines. Like, it's not just about the fines. It's a lot more serious than that. They can lose their
Yeah.
license. And
Right.
that's a doomsday scenario for any casino, is losing their license, as you can imagine. I mean, that's the end of operations for them. And so, but I think, I mean, you're right, especially, and it's funny because there's not in this industry, and this is what we're trying to do with this channel is obviously, and Brantley does on Cowboy Slots also,
Yeah.
is to try to get people to understand how all this stuff works so that you understand that it's very fair, in your favor. I mean, and if nobody believes any of this stuff, there is nothing stopping anybody from calling the Gaming Commission of
Right.
Nevada and asking them all these questions. They will tell you. They will tell you exactly what we've been saying, that this is how it works. This is how they protect you. They will tell you that information. We've tried to get them on camera. They won't do it. But,
Yeah.
it's like people can call us if they want to know. And I'm like, well, give them a call if you don't believe
And,
this stuff.
and
But
they won't. But and that's the
no,
thing. If they want to believe certain things, well, you know what? That's their problem,
it's
not mine.
fine. It's fine.
So,
Yeah, I mean, if you want to believe the volume thing
yeah.
or that kind of stuff,
All
but
power to you.
yeah, more power to you. But
They.
the ones I will say this though is that, and this, Tom, and a lot of our viewers know this already, that if you stay focused on the things that you absolutely have control over, you will do better. I think
Yes.
people get so caught up in the volume thing and the hot and cold and chasing the bonuses, and they completely lose sight of what's important, which is budget and control and playing the right machines at the right times, and not pushing your risk just on the wrong machines at the wrong time. Like, if you do that and you focus on those things and you push all that other stuff out of your head, you're going to do better in the long run. Like, you will. I can't
Right.
guarantee you're going to win. I mean,
Right.
that's impossible. There's no guaranteed way to win at slots or any kind of game because it's gambling, right? We know
Hmm.
that. But what we can do is point you in the direction of the stuff that you actually do have control over and
Yes.
get you to stop thinking about all that other stuff. And that's what
And
we're trying to do.
ultimately too, with all the things you had mentioned about the budget and control and all that, that bottom line is you want to have fun. You
Oh yeah.
know,
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
and you know how I think Brantley, yourself, Dave. There's a couple others that I watch, and I don't look at any of you guys as influencers. I mean, I look kind of more as like educators.
Sure.
I like I said, the influencer thing is, and it's not just with gambling or whatever else. There's influencers everywhere, and I don't know. I'm older. I don't. I kind of take a lot of things with a grain of salt, especially when
Sure.
somebody's like pushing something too hard. But no, you guys are sharing the information. You guys had the experience, and
Right. Right.
that's it was never. It got me fired up. It's like, oh, let me try what these guys are saying. Let's take a ride over and see what happens. And
Right.
then
Right.
you start paying attention more, and so that's a good thing. And
Yeah.
I may not have all the flash and you know, but no, I think you're all good people, and it's kind of for, hey, have fun and stay in control, and you'll keep having fun.
Oh
And
yeah.
won't have
Absolutely.
these. You're not going to, like I said, not going to win every time, but you're going to have a better outcome.
Yeah.
And
I think once you learn, and I've seen this Gosh, I mean, every time I walk into a casino, especially in Vegas, I see the recklessness going on where, I
Yeah.
mean, and what I mean, just perfect examples of people not betting max on top dollar or pinball or Wheel of Fortune. I mean, there was this couple in the high limit room at Aria playing the $25 Wheel of Fortune, one credit at a time. And they were putting thousands through that machine. And
Yeah.
I wanted to just tap them on the shoulder and say, guys, you're never going
Yeah.
to hit that spin because you're not betting max. That is a lost opportunity for you. I hope you understand that. And a lot of people's response to that is like, well, we can't afford the second credit. Then you shouldn't be playing this game,
Playing
because
right.
any game that is designed for a bonus is going to suffer on the line hits. Like, that's just how they work. Um, yes, Double Diamond is the base game for pinball and top dollar, double top dollar, but it is not the same Double Diamond that you see without those features. It
Mhm.
plays a lot differently. That's why you don't get as many line hits as you do on regular Double Diamond, because
Yeah.
it's weighted heavily towards that bonus. So if you can't afford it, great, but don't play that machine. And that's
Yeah.
the kind of stuff that's recklessness, where people just don't read the game rules. They don't understand these types of things. Like you said, the flashiness, they get overcome by the flashiness. And then, I mean, there's a good example, Tom. I was talking to somebody a couple of weeks ago, and I was going back and forth with them in the comments. Like, they're like, never go to Aria. You always lose. You always lose at Aria. And I'm like, it's funny because I've won most of my hand pays and everything at Aria. But anyway, what were you playing? Well, Huff and Puff. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, like, the reason that, and it sucks for the casinos, and this is why Brantley and I have always been trying to partner with these casinos to get them to, to invite us out to do seminars and stuff. It's that, we can benefit you, because what happens is people go to Aria and they play $500 for Huff and Puff and don't get anything. And who do they blame? The casino. They're like,
Yeah.
it's the casino's fault. The machines are real tight there. You should never
Yeah.
go there. You'll never win anything. And it's like, no, no, no. That's not
I
what
should
was
have went
going on.
downtown.
Yeah, that's not what was going on. You picked the wrong machine with the wrong expectations, and that's what happened. But
Yeah.
it's an uphill battle. I mean, it's very easy to blame casinos. A lot of other educators out there will say that the casinos are out to screw you. Like, this is their whole intent is to screw you. So let's screw them back. And it's like, no, they're not. They're a business. Yes, they're
Yeah.
a business. It's a gambling business, but it's actually more fair than you really think. And if you really do break it down and you focus on the things that you have control over, and you stop trying to blame the casino and blame the payback percentage settings on the machines and all this crazy stuff, if you stop doing that and get less conspiracy theory like, and focus on the stuff that you have control over, you're going to have a better outcome no matter which casino you go to. It's not going to
Yeah.
matter. And that's the goal, right? And it's difficult. It's a uphill battle. We got to reach more people, of course. So I guess I should say, please subscribe, give a thumbs up. I hate asking for that, but they say every YouTube video I watch, are like, if you want to grow your channel, you got to ask for it. Okay, I asked for it, but I don't like asking for it. It should seem obvious by now, right? Like, if you like the content, subscribe, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Oh,
yeah, we
that's
want to get the message out.
well, yeah, we'll definitely spread. Listen, I don't have like a gambling circle.
Sure.
My wife comes with me. My wife, she always seems to have a horseshoe up her rear end. I mean, she'll just play certain games, and then, like, all of a sudden they're, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
And she likes all the flashy ones, but I mean, she's pretty responsible with it. Yeah, see, that's like some of these, like, like the penny games, kind of like an $8 bet on a penny game, that it's like it's not a penny game. Then you
No.
know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, I said, I mean, Huff and Puff's fun. I mean, I said, I mean, I'll walk by one if it's open. There's hardly ever one open where I'm at, but
Right.
one happens to be open, and I'll put 20 in, and the minimum bet. But I've hit the bonus before and maybe made $10 or $15, but
Right.
hey, whatever. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
I got to play it. I experienced the bonus. I know I'm not going to get this like super grand or whatever they are,
Right. But that's
and
okay, right? Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I limit myself with the Buffaloes because there's 8,000 versions now, and
Right.
I
Right.
like the original and I like gold, and
Yeah.
I said
Stick with what you know. Yeah.
I'll chase that 15 for a while, just because it's kind of a goal now. But
Yeah.
I said most
Yeah.
times I do better than not. Um,
Right.
so
Well, that's
it is
good. I mean, you've learned the machine, you understand the volatility, how it plays,
yes,
what to expect, and by coupling that with your budget, you're
yeah,
making wise decisions, Tom. So I
cool.
honestly, I mean, the point of these interviews is to try to help people, but I think you're in a really good shape here, and I think it's good to hear from people that have started to apply the things that we talk about and have had success. And again, just remember, it's still gambling. At the end of the day,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
But if you're doing what Tom's doing and you're, sticking to the games that you know and understand and have reasonable expectations for, and you're watching your budget and you're leaving, I think the gambling box is the only other thing I would suggest when you go to
Yeah.
Vegas next is to get one of those,
Yeah.
so that you
Definitely.
don't get the whole walking back and stopping at every casino on the way back. But other
Yeah.
than that, I mean, I think you're doing a great job, and we love hearing from you. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Absolutely.
time. Any last minute comments, thoughts, or anything?
No, thanks for having me on this, and
That was a pleasure. Thank you.
definitely come back and whatever I can do to help you guys. Like
Okay.
I said, I think I believe in people that are trying to do the right thing, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's hey, you get we keep teaching. I like I said, I'm more or less a rookie still. I'm still learning lots of stuff, but
You've come a long way, my friend. I mean, I can
applying
tell
what
just by the way you're talking. So
applying
you're
what
doing
you
great.
guys are saying. I mean, it's just you're gonna have a better experience,
Yeah.
and you're not gonna get into that like trouble,
Yeah.
nobody likes that feeling, and
No. No. But sometimes we all have to go through it at least once to
oh
understand what it
yeah,
feels
because
like.
it'll humble you. And
It will. It
I've
will.
been
It
there a
will.
couple times,
Yeah. I have
it's
too. I mean, there's no lie there. I have too. So, all right, Tom. Well, thank you so much for the time tonight. Really do appreciate you doing it. And if you guys want to be part of the interview, it's completely 100% free. Just send us an email at gamblesmart, gamblesafe@gmail.com, and we'll send you the sign up form and instructions on how to sign up to do the interview. We're looking for everybody. You gamble a lot, you gamble a little, you don't gamble at all, but not just slot machines too. If you're a poker player, if you're into table games, whatever the case is, we want to talk to you because not only are we learning from it, but you're helping other people to understand how they approach the casino, and hopefully we can all kind of share some ideas to make it a better experience every single time you go, and that's what we're really after here. So, but anyway, Tom, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, and I want you to have a great week coming up. And next time you're at the casino, let us know how it goes.
Bill will do. Thank you.
All right,
Cheers.
take care. All right,
Bye.
cheers, man.